Ja.
Det gjorde vi, da jeg læste her. Så der er 10 minutter til endnu, eller?
Ja, jeg tror det.
Hva?
Et kaffe.
Så starter vi en 7-8 år, ikke? Eller sådan noget. Så.
Jeg tror ikke. Nej, inte din forskning. Jag tar bara generellt om jag tycker det är rätt viktigt. Det är det var där jag forskade om skillsmässigt.
Ja, lige præcis.
Alltså vi har ju...
Ja, det går fint.
Jag har hört att ratten faller på millennials i USA.
Ja, det er rigtigt.
Ja. Är det samma i Danmark?
Nej. Så den stiger.
Den stiger?
Men det har også noget at gøre med nogle lovændringer. Men det jeg har lavet er faktisk bliver obligatorisk for alle, der bliver skilt med her fra april. Så jeg har faktisk lige udsat min PhD aflevering, fordi jeg skal hjælpe statsforvaltningen med at lave en implementering af det. Det bliver sjovt. Det bliver obligatorisk for alle, der har børn under 18 år. Jeg har lavet en digital intervention, som hjælper forældre med at få den viden, som gør dem bedst i stand til at støtte deres børn. Så.
Det är riktigt relevant forskning i speciellt Skandinavien.
Men jag tänker ju när man har typ
Jag vill aldrig beskriva
Så vi har lavet et RCC-studie med 3.000 raske, hvor vi har kigget både på fysisk helbred og psykisk helbred.
Och det gick nog bedre med din intervention.
Er 8 ud af 10 outcomes. Det kan der forbedre lidt på.
Men altså, er det forhindrer sig, at det sker?
Nej, det reducerer de negative effekter.
Altså, det er jo hvis man mediterer.
Skal jeg starte den optagelse?
Ja, jeg har startet.
Det ser bare vigtigt.
Mediterar.
Det hjælper på alt.
Mediterar. Mediterar.
Altså ikke så meget, men jeg har gang med det.
Space. Ja, den har jeg også.
Jag fick den på
Men skal du ikke korte Sverige også?
Det er vigtigt.
Jo, nu har vi skal faktisk præsentere for Nordisk Ministerråd. Det er både for Sverige og Norge. Og det er i slutningen af den her måned, hvor vi fremtræder for Nordisk Ministerråd og vise dem, hvad vores forskning. Du har svaret på det, og der er ikke så mange, der er heller ikke så mange juridiske forskelle.
En mail 2 uger før.
Ja, der er der vel en, der har svaret.
Jeg tror, en eller anden grund for, at man ikke gået igennem, fordi der er skrevet på hver dag om det.
Tak for lov. Det er mere for at få sådan en overblik over, hvad folk issues og sådan noget. Så må vi jo bare spørge, og så spørger man specifikt det kommer ud. Vi har en idé om, hvad folk vil. Det har noget mere at vide, og sådan er. Ja, rent altså i forhold til at lave oplæg, ikke? Når vi får det der.
I have a dream. I have a dream that one day, on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will join together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day my 4 little kids will not be condemned by the color of the skin, but judged by the content of the character. I have a dream, and that's a dream that's deeply rooted in the American dream. So I say to them tonight, we do not have a white America and a black America. We have a United States of America. And I say to them tonight, we don't have a Hispanic America, Italian America. We have a United States of America. And I ask them tonight, can we unite? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. I do not care if it's a scientific pitch, if it's a political speech, if it's a wedding speech. Whatever it is, you use the same 5 tools to make people listen to you. How many in here have been sitting at a teaching, at a lecture, and within the first 15 seconds been thinking, oh my God, this is going to be boring. This is going to be a long one. How many have tried that? How many have tried the opposite? And normally dead, sick, boring biochemistry class. And then it comes a new teaching. And within the first 15 seconds, whoa, this is exciting. This is different. Yes. What do they do? Welcome. Welcome to a very grateful academic discipline. Public speaking. To do a good presentation. Very grateful because it's very easy to learn. You already know how to do it. In other words, you can very easily become a great public speaker. You can very easily become a great, and you can all very easily become great public speakers. You just have to know my tools, and that's 5,500 if you don't know. Just kidding. That's what I have for you. But first, this is a highly interactive, indeed, a workshop. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your screen. Because we're going to do interactive learning today. When you move your body, your memory grows. When your body moves, your memory grows. Okay, how many have been to an experimental learning workshop? Yes? Right on. So you know that you're going to move your body today. Let's start with the first one. Everybody stand up. Because I want you to remember, we're going to do it at different levels today. Memory is going to be one of them. Body-mind connection is going to be another one. Welcome. First row. It's always good. You see it? Good to see you. Information, you do like me? Information combined with emotion, you can't see it back there, huh? Information combined with emotion becomes a long-term memory. Okay? Information combined with emotion becomes a long-term memory. So that's what I'm going to teach you today. I'm going to teach you and ask you to do the scientific pitch. Move the people when you present your science. Move the people. Then they will remember and listen to you. Okay? Your first enemy when you stand up here is your own mind. How many get nervous when standing in front of an audience? How many have tried to memorize your talk and when you get on stage? Why do we do that? Why do we become nervous when we stand in front of an audience we do not know? What's happening here? We feel judged. And why do we feel judged? What are we afraid of?
That they know more than us.
Yes, what more?
What did you say, sorry? That they will know more than us.
That they'll know more than us. You don't know more than me, don't worry. I know. Okay, what more?
Do you think you don't perform well? You think about yourself instead of
Yes.
what you can deliver to the
Yes,
audience.
very good. That's one of the main reasons. That's not the main reason, but I have to say one that helped me a lot. I have a tendency, I do keynote speeches at conferences, and when there are over 400, 500 people, I am so nervous. It's not about me. As a speaker, think about, it's not about you, it's about the audience. I would love you to love me. I would love for you to like me, but it doesn't matter really. What matters is that I get the message out there. So I have to all the time focus on you. It's not about me. This show is not about me. I have some jokes, I hope you laugh, but it's not about me. It's about you. Your first enemy is yourself, and that is the stress hormone cortisol. When we get up here on stage, it is the reptile brain, the Stone Age brain. In the old times, 150,000 years ago, when you were looking at me, you're going to hunt me down. You're going to eat me. You're going to hurt me. And that's the reason, first and foremost reason why we get scared in front of an audience. You may be seated. So what do you do? I talk to the cortisol. It's the stress hormone cortisol. I say hello. I've just been doing a toilet. You are there now, huh? But you're not going to get inside, dear stress hormone cortisol. You're not going to, excuse my language, fuck with me. You're not going to do this for me. So I put it outside my brain. It's all psychological. It's all psychological. Just admit, I'm nervous. It is the stress hormone cortisol. You look at it. High cortisol, how are you doing? You stay the fuck out there. That's how I do it, and that works. And that's why you get nervous. I have for you that speaking house. But first you have to stand up again. Because how many in here have seen the Amy Cuddy TED Talk, the Power Pose? Yes? Wonderful TED Talk. It's body-mind connection. You can talk to your mind with your body. When you stand like this, you show your mind that there's nothing to be afraid of. So the cortisol goes down. Everybody do the power pose. This is the power pose. I've just been doing it out in the restroom. Okay? Now, if you do this for 2 minutes, you're going to stand here for 2 minutes. Isn't that nice? It's exercise too for the shoulders, yeah? Now your cortisol, if it is high, it's probably not. I'm a spitter, sorry. you have a bad first throw there, man. You have a screen here or something? When you stand like this, your cortisol runs down. You have heard about the swab, the dopamine and cortisol swabs. You can spit before an exciting movie, you spit during the movie, and you spit after the movie. And you can measure in the spit dopamine, oxytocin, cortisol, how it goes up and down. And that's the movie industry, they do it a lot. Okay? Now I want you to scream loud. I want you to think about victory, and I want you to imagine yourself that you're going to have to do a talk. You're going to have to do a presentation. And it's going to go wonderful. You're going to be good. You're going to talk fluently. Your message is going to be out there, and it's going to be structured. I'm going to teach it all. We are going to teach it all today. I have my good colleague with me, Asher. Are you ready to scream? Now I want you to get out of your comfort zone. Why? Because the more you're out of your comfort zone, the easier it gets. You will always be out of your comfort zone when you talk. You always be. Forget about if you stay inside your comfort zone, I'll show you what happens. But first we scream. On 3, real loud. I want you to feel weird. This is fucking strange. This is weird. That's why I want you to get out of your comfort zone. Feel weird. Are you ready to feel weird? Think about your good speakers. 1, 2, 3. Good. Be seated. Use that body-mind connection and use that power pose. 2 minutes. Show your brain the lion is not hunting you down, and your cortisol goes down. Go on YouTube, write cortisol power pose, and you can see what they do, how it works. Always talk to your mind with your body when you are talking, when you have to do a presentation. I have for you the speaking house. Okay? Association technique. I hate that word. Association technique. And it's a memory technique for you to remember, I have to do a talk. How do I do that? I've seen about Ashton's speaking house. And I'll just draw the speaking house, and then I'll know what to do. And I'll know how to do a good talk. Okay? We want to build the speaking house on a solid foundation. We do not want to build it on sand. We're going to build it on rock, so it's going to stand. So what's the first thing we do? What's your name? Hi. You are the boss now to you. Huh? Alba. You go in the cantina and you say to Alba, I love your research project you just turned in. It was excellent cancer research. It is in this year the very best I've ever seen in 50 years. I've been in for 70 years. Go and say that. Can you do a talk about that in 2 weeks? Now you have done research in cancer. You know that she loves your project, what you turned in. So already there, you'll have a benefit. What does he do? He has 2 weeks. What does he do? What's the first thing he has to do? He has 2 weeks to do a 20-minute presentation about the cancer research he just turned in. What's the first thing you do? Every time I raise my hand, it's a question. And that's one of the speaking house. You want to raise your hand as much as possible when you do a presentation. Your job as a speaker is not perfection. It's connection. I want this stage is sacred. And I want to throw 2 things out the window. Perfection out that door. Don't worry about how you look like. I'm going to spit. I'm probably going to study a little. It's no worries. Because I know I have a good message for you that you can use and that you will remember. Okay? So perfection. Why is a perfect speech boring? Why doesn't... Have you seen on YouTube or been to a presentation? What do people look like when they do a perfect speech? How do they look like? What do they do? Huh? Yeah. When you do want to not get out of your comfort, now I stay stable in my comfort zone, and I put on my speaking armor. Do not put on your speaking armor. You don't want no armors here. Hello, how are you doing? My name is Asbjørn. Look at my body brush. I'm here to present you how you become a good speaker. You become a good speaker by not having a manuscript and not looking down in your manuscript. Don't ever look down in your manuscript, because every time you lose eye contact with the audience, they are bored. Then you become a very bad speaker if you have a PowerPoint and you turn your back towards the audience and read up loud off your PowerPoint. Don't ever do that. You can memorize books, thick books inside out. You can remember your 10 minutes presentation too, inside out. I'm going to teach you how you do remember your 10 minutes presentation. You want to memorize it. And that's the foundation of the speaking house. And that's what you want to do when you have 14 days. First, you want to interview her. What did you like about my project, my research, my degree, my PhD, whatever it was? Oh, I love it. And the skin cancer research. Oh, that's what she likes. So that's going to be my climax of my talk. I will not speak anymore, I promise. Okay, so it's memorization. Memo your talk. How do you memo a talk? Memorization. That's a good pen that fits on the floor. Memorization. How do you memorize your talk? How do you memorize your exams? Huh? Practice. Repetition. What more? Huh? I'm sorry?
Simplicity.
Yes, very good. What more? Write down. Use all your senses. Write it down. What more? Association. That's very good. What more? What do you do when you run? Where's that phone? Let's see if this is a phone. Blah, 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 blah. Might talk about blah, blah. Phone. In the ears. Go for a run. What happens with your body when you run and listen at the same time? When your body moves, your memory grows. When your body moves, you want to use all your senses, and you want to take that run, you talk it in on your memo, on your phone, And if it's the 20 minutes talk, I always talk them in about 5 times, so they repeat. Then I go for a long bike ride. And what more can you do? You can memorize 20 minutes in a day. I tried it, because if you use all your memorization tools, what more can you do? My presentation I will do for you today is in cancer research. And I have some from my boss, some very good words, so I know that I'm a good researcher. Sing it. That sounds terrible, I know. When does he stop? Sing your, and then the last thing, loci method. Have you had teaching in the loci method? L-O-C-I, Cicero's loci method? Your home, the placement memory method. I do talks about the brain with the World Championship in memorization. Lars Christensen, he's Danish. And he uses a loci method. Loci method. And that's Cicero. He, in the ancient Rome, is 2,429 years old. And Cicero, he loci, and it works wonderful. It's your home. Let's make a grocery list. What do you need to buy when you get home? Banana. What's the first thing you do when you get into, you lock in your home and you see your coat hanger, your shoes? What's the first thing you do? You look at what do you do? You take your coat and hang it up, right? Yeah. Put some banana up there. Good. See 3 bananas where you hang your coat. If that's the first thing you look, the first place you look. What's the next thing you want to buy? Milk. Milk. 2 gallons of milk where you put your shoes. See it in front of you. Close your eyes. Everybody, close your eyes. See 2 gallons of milk where you put your shoes in your own home. Okay? This works. You will never need to write down a grocery list anymore. This works excellent, and you can do teaching too, memorize teaching. What's the next thing you want to buy? For the kids. You need. Okay. The third place, when you go in the living room, is that where you open the door to the living room? What do you do? Yeah, so you put toothpaste by the stereo, by the TV. What do you do? What? On the sofa. See toothpaste on your sofa. Then you sit on every day. You will never forget it. Now you can do 21 things right now. I don't have time for that. And you can go down in the grocery man store and you can buy it all. Because you just walk through your home. Use the tools you already have. This is a wonderful memory technique. I memorize my talks like that. Right now I am in the bathroom. You just don't know it. Okay? So that's memorization. Use the loci method. And I need a black one, a better one. I'll take this one again. We want the walls. We want to build the walls now. The first thing, now you have memorized your talk. You know it, it's going to take you 20 minutes. She's told you that it only 20 minutes, so it's fine. So you have been running, biking, and you have been using the loci method. Now you can, so what's the first thing? Now you have to do your talk. You're standing up here. What's the first challenge? What's the first, huh? Starting. Very good. Start. Now, let's start. I have been to several scientific conferences. They always start with their name, and they always start with what they do research in, and they just been introduced, and the people are sitting with a program where you can read about the cancer research. So don't do like all others because they do it. Start right away. Start with a hook. You have been introduced by your boss. We have 20 minutes now, this Friday meeting about Rian's wonderful research project. And then you go on. So it's about cancer. This is about diabetic aspect. So now you start. You don't say your name, you just start. How many in here has a relative that is diabetic? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need one more to the yes. That's about average. That's fine. I do research in diabetes because I am diabetic. My mom is and my granddad does. It's a plague throughout our whole family. for generations. That's why I'm here today. I have let you in. I have become personal. This is personal to me, this research in diabetes. So it's a hook, a question. Always remember to raise your hand. The audience will not react if you do not raise your hands. Your finest job as a speaker is not perfection, it is connection. Always remember that. And then you do the question, and then you do the short personal story. How did that affect you that I said that is personal to me? Diabetes. How do you react? Can you feel anything in your brain?
It engages you.
Engage, exactly. You want to engage the audience. So the door is the hook. You want to imagine that the audience, I'm keeping the time very good, that the audience is sitting inside the house. You want to kick out that door to the audience. So you start with a hook. That is a question. How many in here? And a personal story. P.S. It can also be a quote. I went to a lecture about Africa. That wasn't Africa. That's another story. I'm messing my stories up now. I went to a lecture about biochemistry, about the skin, and he started, do you know that you have more living creatures in your skin than there is on the planet? On your skin, on this one planet? That's how he started. And then he said, are you scratching now? Another talk was about Africa. And that you could start with a cliffhanger. Anybody knows what a cliffhanger is? What is that? Yes. You ask a question, but you wait with the answer. Africa. There's only one reason why we conquered Africa. And the Afrikaners didn't conquer us. Only one invention, only one materialistic thing. Why we could go down there and conquer Africa. Let me wait with that. I'll start another place. Now the first man was found in Tanzania 155,000 years ago. What are you thinking about now? What are you thinking about now? The invention. What was that? So simple. Okay. The windows of the house is for you to remember to associate that with your eyes. We do not want to interfere in war with the Syrian people. We want to interfere in war with President Assad. We have living proof that he has been poisoning his own population. 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. The Obama term. Any press conference, any talk. When I do my workshops in public speaking, I put on a video with Obama. He's wonderful. Everything he does is smooth. It's chocolate for the brain. His talks, his workshops, everything he does. Now, you want to try to look, that's very good. You want to try to look one sentence length at each person if you can. But just pick up one sentence length. One sentence length. Because when you look at one sentence length at a person, they're going to feel like you're looking right at them. You're talking right to them. You're talking right to me. Okay? So that's your finest body posture, body talk, your connection. Your strongest connection is your eyes. And then you want to always open up, not cover up your vital organs, because that shows your nervous system. You want to open up, and you want to try to, when you talk, to breathe slow and deep while you're talking, because then you relax. When you are relaxed, the audience becomes relaxed. And you can control your stress and cortisol with your breath. Breathe slow and deep. It's going to drop right away. All right? The cliffhanger. That's out here. That's the udhæng. we say in Danish, of the roof, and that's a cliffhanger. You want to put a clock in the house, because that's going to remind you of your way too high cortisol. That's going to remind you that you're going to have to relax and pauses. The second strongest tool you have, it was the eyes was the first thing. The second is your pauses. Pauses and sound. When you do pauses, like this, it makes people relax, and they want breaks. The brain wants breaks in sound. If you have a lot of information, you want to hold those pauses. Now you're quite falling asleep because my voice is getting very monotone. I can see it in your eyes. So I will raise again. Okay, a book. This is a table, and I want to draw a book because I have new research for you. Kendall Haven, scientist, neuroscientist. How many have heard about him? He's very big in the States. Kendall Haven, he did the first big, huge research project in storytelling and the brain. Started in 2012. You have never, medical world had never before researched what happens, why is that the strongest weapon ever to make people remember and to make people listen when you tell personal stories, when you do it in a story frame. So the American government asked Kendall Haven, how many millions do you need? Because they had a little fight, the American government, with NASA, Earth Science Department. They were dependent on money, and fewer and fewer people were reading the scientific articles. So they called up Kendall Haven because he's the first neuroscientist that went from research to professional storyteller. So the American government calls him up and say, what do we do? NASA doesn't want to change the way they write science. Nobody reads it anymore, we don't get any foundation. Kendall Haven goes to NASA, and he teaches that scientists at NASA, this is how you're going to write your science if you want people to read it. I'm going to teach you that in a moment. How you're going to talk your science and how you're going to read your science. Okay? So the manager, the CEO of NASA comes up to him. That's not how we write. And Kendall Haven goes, yes, I know. Yes, no. No, that's not how we write. Yeah, you're right, that's not how we write. No, that's not how we write here. But that's how you have to write if you want foundation. No. And he said, welcome. And he said, no. That's not how you can sit here.
Sorry.
No, okay. You're leaving me? That's not how you write. And he said, no, prove it. Prove that they're going to read the articles much more. And that's why the American government calls up Kendall Haven and says, how many doctors do they need? How many neuroscience do they need? And he said 48, so there are 49 total. How many persons? Thousands. And he called them in and did this project. With an MR scanner, people were looking at movies, listening to stories, different stories, changing the main character, and what happens? What happens inside the brain? They spit test before, dopamine, oxytocin, cortisol, before the story, the movie, during the movie, and after the movie. So now we can go inside the brain and see what works. What works here? And that's storytelling. Beats the shit out of anything. In a frame. Main person, antagonist, protagonist, attention, a problem to solve, a common goal. A common goal. If you have the same goal as the audience, then they will really listen. The goal here is for you to be better presenters, speakers, public speakers. How many would like that? Yes, good. Before I start Kendall Haven and what the brain does and how you should do the story, I would like to introduce My colleague in Tara and DK, PhD, Asper Lindholt. He's a scientist that went into storytelling.
Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. We looked at your answers, so thank you very much for giving them to us. And we want to give you what you asked for. And we could see a lot of people had issues with nerves, being more confident and fearful. And I will tell you a little secret. You're not the only one. There are a lot of people who have this problem. So if you are in this group, you're probably in the 99% of people. There was one guy, he wrote, I love it, I don't have a problem. Is he here? No? Okay. Anyway, it's very, very important you get this handled, the fear, because then you'll be more powerful, you have more energy, and you can really connect with your audience. And for that reason, I have developed a system which I call the Fear-Free Speaker System. It consists of two parts, fear and speaker. Fear is an acronym, meaning it stands for something. So the 4 letters all are 4 elements in this system in order to make you more powerful and less fearful. So let's jump right into it. Are you ready? Good, good. Let me write it so you can follow along. Yes. So the first point, F, is incredibly important, because if you don't get this, practically nothing else matters. You can have great content and really memorize your talk and prepare so much, but you've got to get this handled, because otherwise everything does not really have that power and impact. So what is the F? It stands for feeling great, having a good feeling before you come up on stage. That's why Asbjørn did the power pose, for instance, to feel good, right? So you have more energy for your audience, so you can connect with them. So how can you do that? How can you get that good feeling when you probably tend to be nervous? Well, there are 3 ways, essentially. You can use your mind, right? When you think about how you focus, your physiology, how you use your body, your mind, and a third thing. We're just going to take the 2 today, because you can use them right after when we do the exercises. So you can come up here and use them and see how they work for you. So let's start with the easy one, physiology, because we can control our body. We can decide what we want to do with it. When you're up here, you can do deep breathing, like Asbjørn said. In fact, I want you all to stand up. We're going to do a little exercise. Good. So find someone, and now you say hi to them. Right? Good. Fantastic. And now we're going to do breathing exercises. There are tons of breathing exercises on YouTube. This one I found works very well for me and for people who work with. So the idea is you breathe in, like on 1, 2, about 2 seconds. You hold your breath for 2 seconds, and then you breathe out on 4. It's actually on the breath out. You start relaxing. So we'll just do 5 rounds of those. You ready for that? So follow me. 1, 2, in. Hold your breath. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out. So you breathe out on the 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry. We'll do one more. Right? That was explained badly. So breathe in. 1, 2. Hold your breath. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do a couple of rounds of those. I love this exercise because it helps me too. Please raise your hands when you have done 5 circles. You can see how far you are. Feels good, huh? Cool. Before you sit down, I want you to do a little thing. I want you to breathe in deeply, and then you say hi to the same person. Breathe in and say hi. Hi. Okay, how is the energy the second time when you said hi? Higher or lower? Higher. Speaking is breathing in, and then air comes out, and the cords here move. So breathing has a lot to do with speaking. So if you're always out of breath and it's up here, it's hard to speak, right? And you want to be relaxed. Please be seated. So you can use this up here. I'm going to talk a lot about pauses and try to use and ask the audience a question. Good evening. Right? Maybe it's a bit hard to do this on stage if you're at a conference, right? You can do it before. But the breathing you can use when you are on the stage. People won't notice. It will give you a great break. People take in your message.